Hey guys, and welcome to This Week on the Challenge with me, Adrian. Today we're going to be recapping season 35, episode 7 of the challenge, Total Madness. And man, we got another meatless episode. I mean, it started off again from last week where it was the girls' elimination. So now we got the nominations, the tribunal, and then the actual elimination, which was an actual, an interesting elimination, which really saved the episode because, again, I think it was just a lot of filler. I don't know why MTV is giving us these half episodes. I hope it doesn't continue for the rest of the season, but let's go ahead and recap it. So the first little part of this episode was a lot of talking about who wants to nominate themselves to go into the elimination. So I said it last week, but there was a lot of talk about Tori wanting to go in, and that was definitely what came up during this first part. So Tori talking to different members of the house of how much she wants to throw herself into the elimination to get a red skull. Lots of Jordan also talking about Tori wanting to go in. So it's made very clear that at least Tori is going to self-nominate to go into the elimination, which is good. I commend her on that because they really need to be here to win that red skull to make it to the final. But we also get a lot of talk from the Holy Trinity, Kayla, Nani, and Jenna. 2 out of 3 of them make up the tribunal, so they really do have power this week, and they're talking about who they want to go in against Tori. They either get the option of going in themselves or throwing someone else in there. And I think Jenna's really considering it, and Nani too, a little bit. I think for Jenna, she's taking it as if, I'm going in to win my red skull and stay for the final to win that $1 million. And if I don't win, then it's kind of just, the cards telling me that it's time to go home back to Zach. So I think that's how Jenna's looking at it. It's commendable that she wants to go in and get a red skull, but in a way, she's also looking for an excuse to go home in a way. So, I mean, it's interesting. Then we get to nominations where Tori does volunteer herself to go into the elimination. Everyone around the circle agrees, no one disagrees or has anything to say at all. So just like that, Tori has nominated herself. And this nomination should have ended here. I mean, she's made it so easy for everyone. No one had to throw anybody under the bus. No one had to say a name. She made it so easy. But of course, it doesn't end there. Nelson decides to stand up and actually apologize to Anissa in front of the group for, accusing her of throwing the challenge earlier that day and just being really rude to her in general, which was great. But then he decided to tell everybody about how they're basically giving Tori a red skull by by voting her into the elimination because she's gonna have an easy win against Jenna. And I don't know why he felt the need to say that because, everyone may think that Jenna's checked out at this point and that Tori's going to win, but I don't know why Nelson felt the need to say that. It is a girls' elimination. He really should not have an opinion about it. But Kayla obviously felt a certain way about it because she stood up and said, Jenna's not going to lose. How do you know that she's going to lose? And then Nelson starts attacking her. He says that she doesn't respect herself. He attacks her relationship. He goes after what she's been doing with Bear and just being so terrible and so rude in front of the house. And Bear actually steps in and says, you can't say derogatory things to women like that. And that was a shining moment for Bear. I mean, not only is he hilarious, but he also stands up for his people and in such a calm way. Bear didn't stand up and start shouting and fighting and escalating the situation any further. He really just spoke his ground and remained really calm about it. So plus Bear. Love ya, Bear. After the elimination, the guys are still sitting around the couch, and Nelson again starts attacking Kayla. He actually calls her a slut in front of all the guys, and everyone is just shocked and just so confused as to why he's blowing up like that. I mean, Bear stands up for Kayla again. Josh also stands up for Kayla again. And then even Corey, Nelson's best friend, who's in it with him the entire game, he's even confused as to why Nelson's getting into this drama with Kayla, and he tells him to calm the F down because he is wrong for calling her all those names. So Nelson does apologize for calling Kayla a slut, and he does realize he's wrong, hopefully, in the moment. But again, clearly shows that Nelson is off his rocker and going bonkers in this bunker. In this little segment, we also see that Kayla has fully reconciled with Bear. She thanks him for sticking up for her in front of everybody and starts kissing up on him. And you know, that 3-year relationship that was so rock solid when it first entered the house is totally gone now. She says that, you know, that relationship was heading towards marriage and she just wasn't ready for it. So instead of having, you know, an adult conversation with your partner about how you're not ready for marriage yet, you know, she obviously decides to start another relationship. So really good choice, girl. Really good choice. Next, we go to the bar, which we go to every single episode, which we now know is called the Hangar. And really, this entire scene was around Nany getting into a fight with Anissa. So it starts off with Nany flirting hardcore with Casey, who actually has a girlfriend, like a serious girlfriend back home. And, you know, hello, Casey. This is the first time we've heard you speak this much in 7 episodes. It's really nice to meet you. But Nany is basically super into Casey. She gets very flirtatious with her, especially when she's drunk. And it's just not a good look. Like, they're just really, really too close and touchy-touchy. And when Nany goes to the bathroom, Anissa comes over to Casey and actually warns her that, you know, if this ever airs on TV, like, it's just not a good look. You know, she's warning her that, you know, things may be a little bit too flirtatious right now between her and Nany. And when Nany comes back and overhears this, she is pissed. Like, she is so not happy with Anissa that she told her that. And she starts going off on Anissa and, like, telling her that she's going to punch her. I mean, I don't think she actually was going to, but she did say that. And she just starts, you know, mouthing off to Anissa. And I mean, every single time Nany is stressed, she starts creating so much drama. Even Jenna, who's part of the Holy Trinity with Nany and good friends with her, says that Nany is paranoid. But yeah, this is the whole scene that occurs at the bar, and it continues at home. Back in the house, drunk Nany is walking around holding my favorite snack, a bowl of cup noodles, and she looks like she is fighting anyone in her way. I mean, she's even fighting with Jenna, who's just recapping what happened during that night. And she starts fighting with Anissa, calling her names, saying stuff about her past that's kind of nasty. And Anissa, I think, does a really good job of staying calm. You know, obviously she's like fighting back with her, but she's not getting involved and carrying on the fight. I mean, I think Anissa has been attacked by Nelson, which is so uncalled for. Now she gets Nany. I mean, this all happens within the span of like a few days. So I can imagine just how, you know, defeated and sad that Anissa might feel, but I thought she did a great job by staying out of this fight. And drunk Nany is so drunk that she actually throws that bowl of cup noodles at Anissa. And I mean, it doesn't even make 2 feet, like it flops right in front of her. But that is so disrespectful to throw a bowl of hot noodles at someone else. And had that actually hit Anissa, man, I would have eliminated her from this challenge, because damn girl, you should not be wasting noodles like that. See ya, Nany. But when she wakes up the next day, she really realizes that she flew off the handle last night, and she's super remorseful and feels really bad about all the things that she said to Anissa. And she goes to her and apologizes to her. Anissa accepts her apology, but I do wonder like where all of that comes from, because Nany can't just be like this nice person during the day and then totally fly off the handle like that at night when she's drunk. Like, that has to come from somewhere. I don't know if that necessarily comes from a dislike of Anissa, but it's very interesting to see how different she is from the day versus the night when she's drunk. But we do also get to see Nelson apologize to Kayla. And man, I said, oh my gosh, we saw so much growth from Nelson this week. First, he fought with Anissa, then he apologized to her. Then we see him fight with Kayla, and then he apologized to her. And I just said, wow, all of this growth in just 2 episodes. Like, I just wonder how much more growth we're gonna see from Nelson in the rest of the season. Sarcasm. In the Tribunal interrogation, Nany says that if she's comfortable with the challenge, she does want to go into the elimination and get a red skull. And Jenna says the same thing, you know, with Nany having the first pick. But they do decide to interrogate 3 girls, that being Dee, Kayla, and Big T. So Jordan really wanted to interrogate Dee because he didn't like that Dee didn't give Tori her chance to go against Jennifer in that first week of eliminations to get her easy red skull. So he kind of has his eye on getting Dee into the elimination now and just going against her. Dee warns him and says that, you know, she's not going to be an easy win if he puts her against Tori, which is true. And then we get Kayla, who makes up the third of this holy trinity. Nany and Jenna really just put Kayla in just to give her a chance, you know, in the slight chance that Nany doesn't want to go in, Jenna doesn't want to go in, and if it looks like something Kayla can do, then they're giving her the chance to go in. And then we get Big T finally, who is so sweet, and she is, you know, so intimidated. She actually starts crying. Like, I don't think she's scared, but, you know, she's just overwhelmed, I think, by this experience. But she's so sweet. But homegirl really needs to get it together, because you need to go into the elimination and get your red skull in order to make it to the final. So she really has to toughen up here. But another part of the segment is Jenna talking to Zach, and Zach is really showing his true colors. I mean, he is demanding that Jenna go home right now in order to fix their relationship. He accuses her again of cheating on him, and he says that if she is not cheating on him, she better go home and fix it right now. And I mean, he just seems like such an emotional person, and Jenna is really like that calm, stable person in the relationship. And you know, she really has her eye on the prize of $1 million so that they can start their lives together. I mean, Zach should really see that too, but instead he just can't see past this like fury of all the IG messages in his brain, I'm sure, and Snapchat too. But Jenna's really, you know, confused again. She's talking to the girl. She says that Zach was supposed to propose to her this year, but threatened to not do that anymore because of this. And so, I mean, she's obviously thinking about her future, and she's scared that, you know, her dream of getting married to Zach is not going to come true because of this. But, you know, I think Jenna was looking at the big picture even more and seeing how much $1 million could really change their lives. And so she decides to stay in the challenge, which is awesome, and compete for her $1 million. Finally, we get to the Purgatory, where Jenna decides to vote herself from the Tribunal to go in against Tori. And I said, how awesome of her to put herself out there to go get that red skull. She's really taking the opportunity and really going for it. But I did have a little bit of doubt. I was wondering whether she was going in just to look like she was trying, because if she went in and she was sent home, she gets to go home to Zach. So I wasn't sure whether it was more of that or whether she was really going in to truly see if she could win that red skull. But she really turns it out. So this elimination is called Dust to Dust, where they have to pick up a bunch of bricks, run up this ramp, throw the bricks on the ground, and all the smashed bricks would fall through this hole into a wheelbarrow, and they basically have to wheel that wheelbarrow into a box and fill it up past a red line. And so it's really a test of endurance to see who can really last the longest, because this is going to take a long time. So right off the gate, Jenna starts so quickly. She gets right into the rhythm of smashing the bricks, you know, making sure all of them fall into her wheelbarrow, wheeling it in. And Tori actually takes quite a bit of time to figure out this rhythm. She even tries like going on her knees and shoving all the little debris down the hole, which wastes a lot of time. And the entire time, Jordan is screaming at her on the sidelines. I mean, he's really there, you know, trying to encourage her and give her good feedback on what to do, what to change, but he's really just screaming at her. I mean, for some people that may be motivating, but I didn't think that Tori found that very motivating in that moment, because she was slowing down and Jenna was actually, you know, going a lot faster than her. But after a certain point, Tori does get into the rhythm, and so she picks it up and she is pretty much neck and neck with Jenna. At one point, they both figure out that they only have one more wheelbarrow to toss into that box in order to win. And they're neck and neck. Like, they are basically running to their bricks at the same time. They're smashing it at the same time. They're picking their wheelbarrows at the same time. And as they run, Jenna does manage to get her last wheelbarrow in first, and Jenna wins. And so just like that, Tori is eliminated from the competition. It looked like Jenna was going to be an easy win this week, being so checked out from all the Zach drama. But Jenna really showed everybody that she is not going to just like lie there and give up and go out. I think she actually proved to herself that she could do what she wanted to do, and that she didn't have to just, you know, tend to anything that Zach wanted to do, which he wanted her to go home. So I thought that was great. It was really emotional for Jordan when Tori lost, because he felt like he was missing his other half in the house. He ran down immediately, and you know, that whole exchange between them at the end was so awkward, I thought, to watch. Like, it would have been so weird to be there and watch them, because he was like encouraging her and telling her she did great, and then she was like, please don't talk shit to me right now because I just don't feel good. And then it turned into her really, like, you know, telling him that he had to stay strong and stay mentally sane for the game to win money for them. Like, it was just, you know, it was Tori's time of really like feeling bad, and Jordan should have been comforting her because Tori just lost. But it turned into Tori comforting Jordan and telling him that he had to be strong for the both of them. So I just found that whole thing kind of weird. But yeah, just like that, Tori is out. I thought last week that they were showing quite a lot of scenes about Tori talking about wanting to go in, and just there being a lot of emphasis on Tori wanting to go in. And I guess now we know why, because she really did go in, and unfortunately she didn't win. In terms of this elimination, I would give myself a 4 out of 5 in terms of doability. I mean, I think it was difficult in that you had to have a lot of stamina and endurance, but it wasn't super complicated or difficult. So I definitely think it was doable. But please let me know what you think of this episode, how you think that you would have done in that elimination, and if you were surprised that Jenna actually managed to pull this off, because you know, it did look like Jenna was a little bit checked out throughout this episode because of that Zach drama, but I'm so pleasantly surprised that she managed to turn that out, and that ended up being such an exciting elimination, because it was the only thing that redeemed this episode. I mean, it was another filler episode. I really hope we don't get any more of those, but that really made the episode. So anyways, let me know what you guys think, and we will watch next week's episode together. Bye.